Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude. Hey, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I make college football and some college basketball videos every single day. We also have a great Patreon page that we're putting a lot of time and resources into. I'm going to give my Patreons the first choice of what previews and predictions I do this year. Plus, we'll have live chats and videos just for the Patreons. We also have a great website that Joey designed. Head writer Michael Walker over there getting it done. We have 8 writers, but we're always looking for more. And our merchandise store. A lot of great stuff over there. So go check out our merchandise store when you get a chance. This is not a complaining video. Let me make this perfectly clear. This is not a complaining video. And I do admit, I complain a lot. Why do I complain a lot? It's because I love college football. College football is one of my favorite things, if not the most favorite thing in my life as far as anything besides my friends and my family. That's why I created this YouTube channel. My family and friends were like, hey, you're obsessed with college football. You need an outlet because college football dominates pretty much all your conversations. Boom, Golden Blue Dude was born. No. This video is about fixing college football. What's done, it's done. And it is heading down a slippery slope, but I'm not going to complain about it today. I'm going to try to figure out how to fix it. And keep this in mind. It won't get fixed if we just do one thing or two things or pick and choose. All this has to be done together if college football is going to be fixed. I'm talking about the transfer portal, the NIL, the playoffs, and the refereeing. Yeah, people forget about the referees. First, we'll start off with the NIL. And I've talked about this at length many times. The NIL is here. It's not going anywhere. It just needs to have something that can make it uniform and monitored so stupid stuff don't start happening. My idea for the NIL is simple. Cap. And no, I am not talking about capping the players. No. Like the video that I put out yesterday, cap the teams. Give every team the same amount of cap space, just like the NFL. And if a player comes in and they have an NIL deal that's above or going to push them beyond their cap space, then either they need to find another team that has the room or that team pays a hefty luxury tax. At least that'll make sure that it gets spread around more, because you don't just want a handful of teams getting all the greatest athletes because, you know, they have the biggest boosters. That's where all the NIL deals are going. You want to spread it around. So give them a cap. If a player comes along and their NIL exceeds the cap space, they can either find another team that has the space or the university itself will pay a hefty, substantial luxury tax. That's it. That's my idea. On to the transfer portal. There needs to be some type of regulation in this transfer portal. Now, they claim that there's penalties for tampering, and tampering is labeled as you can't contact, message, all that stuff, a player that's already part of a roster that has not entered the transfer portal. Now, once they enter the transfer portal, you can contact them, talk to them as much as you want. But before they enter, you can't do it. So there needs to be a way to monitor that situation and actually put out penalties and discourage teams from doing that. Otherwise, you know, people are just going to keep picking off other people's rosters. It's going to get insane. And when a person does transfer, they need to have to sit out for a certain amount of time. I mean, at least you'll discourage people just hopping in. Oh, I'm mad. He looked at me funny, so I'm entering the transfer portal. You know, it'll discourage players from entering the transfer portal over itty-bitty little things. I understand if they need to enter, it's a big thing. They don't fit in the system. They want to play a different position. They don't fit the culture. Whatever the case may be, they don't like the coach, or the coach that recruited them moved on. That's fine. I understand it. But there still needs to be a waiting period to discourage all these other players that are using itty-bitty or reasons that don't even exist to enter the transfer portal. I don't care if it's as small as half a season. At least that's something. A half a season is better than no games. So make sure that when a player enters the transfer portal, that they have to sit out for at least half a season. That's all I'm saying. Not that big of a deal, but at least it would discourage all these other players who are entering the transfer portal for nitpicky reasons or reasons that don't even exist to not do it. Transitioning over to the playoffs. Pretty simple here. You expand the playoffs. I like the idea of 12 teams. First round gets on-campus home games. I love that idea. College football is the only sport that doesn't have home field advantage in the playoffs. And college football has the most electric atmospheres in all of sports. So the day that we finally have an on-campus home field playoff game is going to be one of the best days ever. I think it's a great idea, and I like the incentive of the top 4 seeds getting a bye week. So that still adds incentive to keep playing not seed-out games and conference championships. Hey, you lose that conference championship, then you're not getting that bye week. You have to play an extra game. So that's another thing. It would make conference championships even more important. And I think that's the biggest worry of people that are saying, hey, we don't want playoff expansion. It'll hurt the conference championship. Plus the same old teams get in the playoffs anyways, and you're just extending the agony. Not really. What did I say at the beginning of this video? If you take all these ideas in at the same time, that's how you fix college football. So if you just expand the playoffs and don't do any of this other stuff, then yeah, you're right. All you're doing is expanding the agony. But if you go and do everything that I'm suggesting all together, then no, the playing field is more even and the playoffs make way more sense. Finally, on to the last item on this video, and that is refereeing. There's some horrible refereeing going on in college football. And trust me, I am going to do a bigger, better video on just the refs. Pay the stinking refs. If you want a person to do a better job, what do? You pay them more money. If you pay them more money, guess what? They have more incentive to do their job better. These refs are getting paid hardly anything. They have secondary jobs. What you see on the field is actually probably more than what they should do. They're being underpaid. These refs need to be paid more. If we want to have actual games that make sense as far as the reffing goes, then you got to pay them more. I mean, it is what it is. It's the same thing in real life. When you promote a person, do you keep them at the same level? No, you pay them more because they have more responsibilities, so you pay them more money. Same thing with the refs. If you want the refs to do a better job, you just have to pay them more. That's the bottom line. And I know there's some type of risk and reward system for the refs. You know, hey, if you screw up, then you don't get to do bowls or the playoffs or the national championship. But if you do a great job, then you'll be put in a hat and maybe drawn for the playoffs and the national championship. I'm okay with that, but they still need to be paid more in the regular season because you see all these crazy bogus calls, and yes, instant replay helps a little bit, but still, they don't have the incentive to do their very best. If you want a person to do their very best at their job, then you need to pay them and show them, hey, we value you. Please do your very best job. And the training needs to be better as well. These refs are not nearly as trained as the NFL refs. So the training needs to be better, and definitely the pay, guys. These guys are not, look it up, guys. You would be blown away the difference between how much the refs in college football get paid and the refs in the NFL get paid. That's one thing that the NFL has gotten right. The cap ceiling for the teams, which I'm saying college football should do as well, and paying the refs to pay them more. I think college football should do that as well. Pay the stinking refs. You know, it seems like this is common sense type of things. And it is. That's why I don't understand how people can't see this. It's common sense. With the NIL, cap the teams. If they go over the cap space, he either needs to find another team that has a cap space or tax the heck out of the team that goes over the cap space. Transfer portal. Discourage people from going into the transfer portal over little itty nitpicky things, the reasons that don't even exist. Make them sit out for a while. The playoffs. Expand the playoffs. More games on campus, home playoff games. 5 weeks for more incentive. That makes sense. And paying the refs. If you put it all together, I think college football would be a much better product on the field because that's what it's all about. We know there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. Conference realignment, the NIL deal, the transfer portal. The end result is what we see on TV or what we see in the stands. College football at its best. If we want college football to be the best sport in the world, and it is, I don't care what you say, I don't care what argument you give me, college football is the best sport in the world. If we want to keep it that way, then there needs to be some changes. That's all I'm saying. Y'all let me know in the comment section what you think about my changes in college football. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.